guys, welcome back to another video. Today I want to talk about expanding polynomials, which is the opposite of factoring polynomials. If you haven't seen that video, I say go watch that one first because I'm going to be covering topics in there that I don't want to do it again in this video, just because I'd rather not have another 20-minute video. Anyway, expanding polynomials, we're going to start off with a easy one. Let me grab my notebook. Okay, we're going to start with 4 in brackets 2x minus 3. Okay, so when we factored them, we were bringing it into this form. This is the factored form, and this is us wanting to bring that out of the factored form. This is called the coefficient. It's the number in the front. This is the rest of our expression. This is what we want to bring out of the brackets. Now, writing this is the same thing as writing 4 2x minus 3. It's just multiplication, which means we're going to multiply them out. You might have seen this method done, the arrow method. Oopsies. That's exactly what we're doing, except I'm not going to draw on the arrows because I want us to be able to do this in our heads. Now, we have a 4 on the outside. We're going to take this 4 and times it by the 2. This is going to give us 8. The x is going to come with us because the x can't be times by anything out here, and it has to stay. We're going to keep the sign because we can't just get rid of that negative symbol. 3 times 4 is 12. And that is our final expression. Where is my eraser? Right here. Okay, pretty simple, simple enough. Oh, I'm drawing everywhere. Okay. The second one I want to go over is if we also have a variable outside the brackets. 4x in brackets 2x minus 3. Okay, we're going to multiply the 4 and the 2, just like we did last time. Still, it's going to give us 8. Now we're going to multiply the x and the x. And x times x is x squared. Let me show you why this works. If we have 2 times 2, sure, we know that equals 4. But if we didn't want to solve it and we just kind of wanted to simplify it, we could go x squared. Because, 2 squared. Because 2 squared is the same as 2 times 2. Now, if we had x times x, that equals x squared. Same thing as 2 times 2. And this here is x times x, so it would be x squared. We're going to keep the minus sign because we can't just get rid of it. 4 times 3, which is 12. And we're going to go x times 1 because, you know, it has to stay with us, and it's getting times by the 3. We can't just get rid of that x. It has to come with us, so we add it on in the end. Pretty simple. I hope you guys can see that stuff, but, you know, I always do that every video, but I can't see it from here. So I'm just kind of hoping and praying it stays. The next thing I want to do is if we had multiple things. And what I mean by that is if we had something like 4x in brackets 2x minus 3, and then minus in brackets 7x plus 5. Okay. Now, the first thing that I would do here is expand everything out of its brackets. We know how to do it with this. We just did that. 4 times 2 is 8. X times x is x squared. We keep the minus symbol. 4 times 3 is 12, and the x has to stay. We have a minus symbol in between these, so the minus is going to stay. Now, right now we're basically taking minus 1 in brackets 7x plus 5 and expanding that out. So, if we have a minus 1 times 7, that's negative 7. We're going to keep the negative sign there. Okay, x, we have to keep the x. We have a plus 5, positive 5. Negative 1 times positive 5 is minus 5. So we have that. Now we're going to collect our like terms. So the terms that are the same, we have 8x squared minus 12 minus 7, which is what, minus 19? Yeah, I think so. I hope so. Basic math. Minus 5. And that is our expanded version. Very great. Very great. The next thing I want to do is talk about FOIL. If we have an expression that looks like this, that has, let's say, 2, I like to keep the questions the same, but 2x minus 3 and 7x plus 5. We're going to enforce something called FOIL. I need a new marker. Bear with me. We all know how about bad whiteboard markers are, but I kind of ran around and found a couple more, so we should be okay. Should, I say. Anyway, FOIL. FOIL is spelled F-O-I-L. F stands for first. O stands for outside. That's not how you spell outside. Outside. I stands for inside. And L stands for last. What I mean by that is, to FOIL this out, we're going to take our first two terms and multiply them. 2x times 7x, well, 2 times 7 is 14, and x times x is x squared. That's our first. O is outside. So 2x and multiplied by the 5, because we're doing our outside terms. These are the outside, these are the inside. You see, 2 times 5 is 10, and then the x has to stay with us. Now we're at the I, FOIL. I is inside, minus 3 times 7x. That's negative. So negative 3 times 7. Negative 3 times 7 is negative 21. X, because we have to keep that x. Right? Yes. And then minus 3 times 5 is negative 15. We're going to collect our like terms. 14x squared minus 11x minus 15. All right? Sticking with this. We have our next one. Okay, this, if we have a question written like this, 2x minus 3 squared, this is just it times itself. What I mean by that is 2x minus 3 and then 2x minus 3. This works because, like, let's say if we had x squared is equal to x times x. Or in numbers, 2 squared, 2 is equal to 2 times 2. Right. Okay, so we're going to FOIL this out, just like we did with the last one, because there's 2 terms inside and there's 2 brackets, okay? So F stands for first, 2x times 2x, 2 times 2 is 4, x times x is x squared. Sorry, I can spell, I promise. O is outside, so 2x times negative 3 would be negative 6x, because 2 times negative 3 is 6, and we're adding the x. Inside is negative 3 times 2x. Negative 3 times 2 is negative 3. And then we add the x. No, negative 2 times 3 is not 3. Hang on. Negative 3 times 2 is 6. So negative 6x. And then lastly is negative 3 times negative 3, which is positive 9. Collecting like terms, that's 4x squared minus 12x plus 9. Okay. The last one I want to take up is if we have something that looks like this, 3 in brackets 2x minus 3 in brackets 7x plus 5. There's a couple ways you could do this, but the way that I think is easiest is you take these two and FOIL them out and then expand the 3 on after. So we leave the 3 as is in FOIL. 2x times 7x. 2 times 7 is 14. X times x is x squared the outside. You see how I'm explaining it every time, so we kind of get in our brains, by the way. Outside is 2x plus 5 is 10x, right? Ooh, that's 10, yeah, 10x. Inside is minus 3 times 7, minus 3, negative 3 times 7x, negative 3 times 7 is negative 21. X, negative 3 times 5 is negative 15. In brackets, we're going to collect our like terms. 14x squared. 10 minus 21 is negative 11x minus 15. Okay, now we're going to expand the 3 into this. So 3 times 14. I wrote this down right. Okay, yeah. 42x squared minus, because we got to keep that minus symbol, 33x minus, again, we're keeping the negative symbol, 45? Yeah, 45. Yeah, that's it. There we go. That's expanding. I personally prefer expanding over factoring. I find it much easier, but that's just me. Anyway, that's all I have on expanding. Go do some stuff. I don't know. Touch some grass. I like saying that.